A group here on campus is taking time to acknowledge the history, tradition, and culture of Native Americans. Coming up, we'll have the details on several events taking place during Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month.
Texas Tech hosts a variety of events each year, including dozens of special guest speakers who bring awareness to important issues around the globe. MCTV's Sarah Costanza has the details on one recent event that brought local attention to a taboo topic with life-altering implications.
And the Texas Tech's men's basketball team hit the road for their first away game of the season. But were the Red Raiders able to continue their preseason dominance? We'll have the highlights from Texas Tech versus Houston Baptist in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Jose Campos Jr.
And I'm Kamryn Mendoza. The month of November is designated as Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month. Around the United States, people are taking the time to acknowledge the history and importance of Native Americans.
That's right, Kamryn. And throughout the month, one campus group is hosting a series of events to give Native people the chance to showcase their culture. Yesterday afternoon, the Raiderland Native American Student Association hosted a Native Identity panel in the school's Lanier Auditorium. The event kicked off at 4 p.m. and featured 3 panelists who spoke about the importance of identity in the Native American culture. The panelists included law professor Alex Pearl, Law School Associate Dean Vicki Sutton, and Taisha Zintek, the Education Director for the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. During the event, each panelist was asked a series of questions about Native identity, including a question about the importance of language to Native tribes.
There's so much of our culture that lives and dies with the language. The Potawatomi, there are 9 bands of Potawatomi, 7 in the US, 2 in Canada. We have fewer than 10 living first language speakers. We are very close to our language being dying out.
When you lose a language like that, you also lose some functionality of names of plants and names of animals and how the role that they played, even in the name and the description, gives you insight into how they fit culturally into belief systems. And by losing the language, you lose all of that.
Yesterday's Native Identity panel wrapped up around 6 p.m., but there are still more events scheduled for Indigenous Peoples Month here on campus. Next Tuesday, the Raiderland Native American Student Association will host Cooking with Rocky at 5 p.m. in the library's Crosland Room. The event will feature a sampling of Native American foods created by Chef Rocky Reina. Along with the samples, Chef Reina will also talk about each dish and the healing power of food. Tuesday's event is free and open to the public.
Over the weekend, the Texas Tech meat judging team secured its spot as the most dominant program in the nation. The team brought home its 14th national championship on Sunday after competing in the American Meat Science Association International Meat Judging Contest. During the competition, Tech captured first place in 6 of 8 categories, and 3 team members had the highest overall scores. This year's team beat out second place Kansas State by more than 60 points and third place Texas A&M by 80 points. This year's win also capped off a decade of dominance by the team who brought home the national championship 6 out of the last 10 years. Earlier this year, Tech's meat judging team was coined the Alabama football of the meat judging world by Sports Illustrated.
The Texas Tech campus plays host to a variety of speakers each year, with many of them educating the university community about important issues affecting our world. Last week, one of those speakers took the stage to address a taboo topic in hopes of ending a painful practice affecting women in the United States and beyond. MCTV's Sarah Costanza stopped by the sub-ballroom to bring us the details.
30 countries, including the United States of America, practice female genital mutilation. The Texas Tech community recently had the chance to learn more about this often misunderstood issue.
It's a serious issue. It's serious than, what I thought I knew. After seeing the statistics and even seeing that it even happens here in the United States, I was really shocked.
On Tuesday, Alana Crafser and F.A. Cole spoke to educate the tech community about female genital mutilation, or FGM. Crafser and the AHA Foundation promote legislation to combat female genital mutilation.
We can urge our legislators to pass model legislation for female genital mutilation, adding more outreach provisions and prosecuting anyone who helps these girls undergo this practice. Just simply having that conversation is extremely important as well.
F.A. Cole survived FGM at the age of 11 in her native Sierra Leone. Today, she's an activist against female genital mutilation.
I'm not a victim. Victims are not here to tell these stories. As far as I'm concerned, victims are dead. You know, like the girls who died during FGM. They're victims. They fell victim to FGM. I'm a survivor because I can actually stand up and share my story.
So I came in with an open mind, ready to understand her story and ready to see how I can help to fight against FGM.
Because it's so prevalent in Texas and there could be girls at risk of this practice in Lubbock, it's just really important that we bring that awareness to our community.
Attendees were encouraged to start a conversation about female genital mutilation to help end the practice worldwide in the future. For MCTV, I'm Sarah Costanza, and back to you in the studio.
After experiencing one of the coldest days of the year on Tuesday, the South Plains area saw a rebound in temperatures yesterday afternoon.
That's true, Kamryn. Here in Lubbock, temperatures climbed above 60 degrees, but some part of the area saw highs in the 70s before sunset. So what can we expect as we head into the weekend? MCTV's Madison Hartin joins us in the studio at a look at what's ahead in the forecast. Madison?
Thanks, guys. Well, we have seen a rebound in temperatures over the last couple of days, and it feels a little bit too warm to be November right now. And part of that is because of all this abundant sunshine we've been getting outside. Right now, looking at our MCTV tower cam, we can see that there is not a cloud in sight right now. The skies are big and blue and beautiful. I don't see anything out there ruining that view. Big blue, beautiful sunshine, and it looks like that's going to be continuing out for the next couple of days, which I'm all here for. You guys know me. I'm not a big fan of the cold, but at the same time, it is November, and it's a little odd that we're experiencing such warm temperatures right now. For today, our high temperature climbed all the way up to 53 degrees, sunny and mild conditions, and a wind coming from the northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, we are going to see a little bit of a drop in temperatures, clear and cool conditions at 30 degrees and a wind coming from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the South Plains as a whole, we can see that everywhere is experiencing a bit of a warm rebound in temperatures compared to what we were experiencing a couple days ago. For Lubbock metropolitan area, it looks like it's going to be about 29 degrees, and our warmest temperatures are going to be out east of us right now. In Dickens, it looks like it's 62 degrees for tomorrow morning, and for Childress, it's going to climb all the way up to 63 degrees, which is a little bit odd for this time of year. Usually you expect November temperatures, the high temperatures, to only be around 40, like we were experiencing earlier this week, so we are going to be seeing a little bit warmer as we go into this weekend. Looking for Friday, we can see that for that day, it's going to be a high of 61 degrees, low of 37. That abundant sunshine continuing into that day. Southwesterly wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For Saturday, we are going to be seeing just a little bit of cloud cover coming in the area with a high of 67, a low of 40. So very good weather for a football game. It's definitely going to be a good game to go out there for that day. For Sunday, sunny Sunday, the sunshine will be back in full force. High of 61, low of 38, and northerly wind coming at 15 to 20 miles per hour. And we should be seeing these warmer conditions for November continuing into at least early next week. So I suggest that you could tune in Monday because we could see another return to cooler temperatures by mid next week around, I'd say, Wednesday area. So tune in Monday to see what weather is going to be like next week. I'm Madison Hartin for MCTV Weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Madison. The Texas Tech men's basketball team put on a show as they headed to Midland last night for their first road game. The number 11 Red Raiders took on the Houston Baptist Huskies, but Tech ran away with the win, 103 to 74. Freshman Jemias Ramsey had a huge night, scoring 25 points, followed by senior TJ Holyfield with 21. Ramsey shot 10 for 13, and he hit 3 for 3 on three-point shots. Holyfield hit 9 of his 10 shots, and he is currently averaging 18.7 points per game since joining the squad this season. As a whole, the Red Raiders shot nearly 60% from the field, leading them to their first 100-plus point win since 2014. Up next, the Red Raiders return to the United Supermarkets Arena for the regional round of the Las Vegas Classic. Tech will tip off against Tennessee State at 7 p.m. next Thursday night. If you can't get a seat in the arena, you can also catch the game on Fox Sports Southwest Plus. And on the women's side, the Lady Raiders host their season opener tonight at the USA against Sam Houston State. Tonight's start time is set for 6 p.m. with TV coverage on Fox Sports Southwest.
Last week, the Texas Tech women's soccer team finished out Big 12 play after a disappointing loss to TCU in the semifinals. But with a postseason spot all but guaranteed, the team gathered together on Monday to see where they would land in this year's NCAA tournament.
We hope you're tuned in from the Texas Tech Club because for the 7th time in program history, Texas Tech is in.
Texas Tech will take on Pepperdine this Friday at the John Walker Soccer Complex. The team is hosting the first round after receiving the fourth seed in their region. This year marks the 7th time in the last 8 years that the Red Raiders have been selected to compete in the NCAA tournament. The team's 6 victories in conference also ties the most games won in a season in Big 12 play. First touch for Friday's date with the Waves is set for 6:30 p.m. If Tech advances, they will take on the winner of Michigan versus Bowling Green in the second round.
After a big win on the road in West Virginia, the Texas Tech football team returned home this weekend to continue their hopes of a bowl berth. The Red Raiders will take on the TCU Horned Frogs this Saturday at Jones AT&T Stadium. Both Tech and TCU have identical records and are currently tied for 5th place in the conference. With a win, the Red Raiders would improve to 5-5 overall and would be 1 game short of being bowl eligible. If Tech wins, they would have 2 or more shots at bowl eligibility against Kansas State and Texas later this month. Kickoff for this Saturday's game is set for 11 a.m. and it will be broadcasted on ESPN2. Speaking of football, students attending this weekend's TCU game will have a new option for pregame entertainment.
That's right, Kamryn. The site of a former longtime Lubbock entertainment venue will now host to some outdoor fun. Over the summer, the Lubbock Memorial Coliseum and Auditorium was demolished. The 63-year-old facility started coming down at the end of last school year after hosting its final event in April. The facility, which had been under the control of the city of Lubbock, was returned to Texas Tech after Lubbock residents voted to abandon the Coliseum and Auditorium in May of 2018. After the demolition was announced, Texas Tech decided to turn the property into a green space until further construction plans can be finalized. And this weekend, you can stop by the new area during a brand new student tailgate event at 8 a.m. on Saturday. Students are encouraged to stop by and enjoy food trucks, a mechanical bull, a climbing wall, and more. There will also be a concert by country artist Stoney LaRue at 9 a.m. The new student tailgate area will remain open until game time.
So Jose, are you planning to go to this weekend's football game?
Football's not my thing.
That's okay.
No.
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thank you so much for joining with us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.